We are ready whenever you are.
Okay, welcome to the Town of Concord meeting of February the 2nd of 2021. John Gillespie, I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. Dominic Pileggi and Tom Mahoney are not with us. And start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
and
and
to the
republic
for which it
stands,
one
one
nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to give a shout out to the Public Works crew, staff and contractors for the snow removal over the last 3 days. A job well done, excellent job. And also a welcome to Vanita for her first monthly meeting. Welcome, Vanita.
Thank you.
Disclosure of recording devices. I'm not sure if that's appropriate now, since we're live streaming. So we'll go right into the public meeting minutes and we'll do them separately. So we have the January 4th, 2021 organization regular meeting minutes for approval. If I could get a motion and a second, please.
I cannot vote on it because I was not on it then.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Now we have the January 26th, 2021 agenda meeting. So if I could get a motion and a second for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, the total expenditures for the month of $809,630.77, consisting of a January payroll of $157,484.18, current bills totaling $314,252.01, bills totaling $337,800.58. Like motion for approval.
So moved.
Do I have
Second.
any questions or comments? Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Under recognition, we have the Park and Rec Holiday Contest winners, which Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, but the photos will be posted on the township website if they're not already done so. We're having them on the screen, okay. So we have the tree ornament contest. First place winner was Linda Quinney with the manger scene. Second place, Hannah Smith with the gumball. And third place, Jennifer Rolecki, the mask angel. In the gingerbread contest.
Hold on, John. Hold on. Just let me, okay. So the masked angel, I showed that. And now we're going to the gingerbread contest, right?
No,
right.
we didn't, Amanda, we're not seeing your screen. We're seeing just a file. I think you need to.
You're not
drag
seeing, you're not able to see this?
No, we see my files. It looks like the file folder set. So you just, I think you need to drag it into view. We were seeing it, but.
And then it went away?
Correct. We're just seeing a list of all your files.
All right, well, look, it'll be online.
including your resume.
It'll be online.
That's a
Oh, God. All right, stop.
gingerbread.
Can you see it?
No, we're just see your resume.
Really? Oh, that's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah,
It's good.
please. The gingerbread contest. The first place winner is Brenda Orso with the Gingerbread Village. Second place is Ron and Leah Pronio, the Colorful House. And the third place is Sandy Bakey with the Log Cabin. So again, those photos will be posted on the township website for anybody to look at. And next item would be resolution number 14.
John, may may I interrupt you? I just want to thank all the participants and congratulate all the winners for their enthusiasm and a fantastic creativity shown on the ornaments as well as the gingerbread houses.
Thank you, Vanita.
And Amanda, you'll be posting those on a social media post as well, so that those can get, the winners can share that out as well with their
Absolutely.
friends and family.
Yep.
That's exciting.
And also stay tuned for the what's the next contest?
Snow creation contest.
Doesn't have to be a snowman, it's a snow creation. Okay. All right. So the next item is Resolution 14 of 2021, which is a resolution of the Council of Concord Township recognizing Planning Commission Chairman Richard Jewelison for his years of service on the Concord Township Planning Commission. Whereas Concord Township would like to recognize Mr. Richard Jewelison for his exemplary service on the Township's Planning Commission since June of 2015 and serving as chairman since January of 2019. And whereas Mr. Jewelison has done a remarkable job for the citizens of Concord Township through his years of sound judgment as a member of the Planning Commission and his guidance and coordination of several major plan reviews for Concord Township. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of Concord Township does hereby recognize and applaud the incredible work and dedication of Mr. Jewelison and commends his service to the citizens of Concord Township. So this is passed and approved the second day of February 2021, Township of Concord Council. So we have a motion and a second for Resolution 14 of 2020.
I'd be proud to make that motion to honor Mr. Jewelson and thank him for his time on the Planning Commission. I remember serving with him for a period of years, which seems to have gone by very quickly.
Okay, perfect. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now, monthly activity reports, the Pennsylvania State Police. Amanda, I understand we have Officer Jessica Tobin in attendance.
Amanda, you're muted.
Yep, I'm promoting Trooper Tobin now.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Trooper Tobin.
Hey everyone, good evening. Nice to see everyone again. I haven't seen you all since the new year, so happy, I guess, belated new year since we're already in February. So yeah, I have a lot to share with everyone this evening. Hopefully everyone's doing well after the storm. I hear Puxatawny Phil gave us some news about an extra 6 weeks of winter, so hang on to your britches for that one. So we'll see how we make out for the rest of the 6 weeks. But without further ado, let's go over some of the data for January. So for Concord Township last year, actually, let's start in January 2020. We're going to do a little comparison data for the noteworthy incidents in the township. So in January 2020, we had 55 crashes. This year, we're happy to report we have 33 crashes. So that gave us a 40% decrease of crashes between this month and last January in 2020. DUI arrests in January 2020, we had 2. This year we had 1. That is a decrease of 50%. Traffic stops in January of 2020, we had 166. This year we had 83. That is a decrease of 50% as well. Burglaries in 2020, we had 2. January of this year, there is 4. So that did increase this year by 2. Criminal mischiefs, also known as property crimes, we had in 2022, and then that stayed the same for this year in 2021. Thefts, happy to report, we had 10 in January of 2020. This year we had 7, so that is a 30% decrease. Retail thefts, 12 in 2020, 6 this year. That is a 50% decrease. And then theft, these thefts have to do with fraud and forgery cases. So we had 5 in 2020, and then this year there were none. So that is a 100% decrease. So as you guys can see, as far as thefts are concerned, there is a steady decline from this month of this year compared to 2020. Now, something new that we are doing, I would like to share some noteworthy incidents for the month of this year. So the first incident, we had a burglary in the beginning of January, on the 2nd to be exact. We received notification at 9:52 a.m. For a reported burglary. So further investigation was done. The burglary was set to occur at around the hours of 3 in the morning. Unknown actors cut the fence to gain access to storage units. Unknown actors then cut a lock to the storage unit, stole an ATV, which was located inside. And this storage unit that was burglarized actually was burglarized back in October of 2020. So we do have reason to believe that it may be connected because an ATV of similar make and model was stolen back last year. That stolen ATV, the VIN was entered into clean, and we are currently follow up on leads and also surveillance that we were able to obtain. So that is some good news. Hopefully, I will update everyone in regards to that. And a proactive traffic stop. This one is exciting. On January 12th at approximately 3:28, we had 2 troopers, Ross Greenwood and Mario Solis, initiated a traffic stop on Namans Creek Road and 202. The operator didn't have a valid driver's license. He said he was taking his girlfriend to Delaware. Criminal indicators were present. The troopers conducted a consent search, which then the operator decided to decline. The vehicle was towed back to PSP Media, and search warrant was then executed. And then we recovered a stolen 9mm pistol, a quarter pound of marijuana, and $1,000 in US currency. And then lastly, for the notable incidents, on January 19th, we responded to Target, a retail theft. We apprehended 2 females who had approximately $1,376 worth of stolen merchandise. Fortunately enough, we were able to apprehend both females. One of them had a warrant, that were then turned over to Montgomery County, and the other one is facing felony charges as well. So we were happy to be able to intercept that. And also we conducted 195 domestic security checks for Concord Township. Now, domestic security checks aren't checks that are necessarily warranted by the business owner or the homeowner. They're just checks that we do periodically of targets such as churches, schools, shopping centers, synagogues, things like that. Now, a couple PSP announcements that I would like to share with everyone. Effective January 1st, our department took the initiative as per our colonel, Robert Ivanchik, to participate in a data collection program. So pretty much what this program entails is capturing demographic and other information related to traffic stops. So what we're going to be doing is collecting this data. It's going to be analyzed by researchers from the University of Cincinnati. And then what their sole responsibility is just to try to identify any type of potential patterns relating to racial or ethnic disparities. And if there are any, obviously we're going to make recommendations on changes with PSP policy and whatnot, but I do want to make sure that you guys are all aware of that. Also, January 8th, we're happy to say we are welcoming 51 new troopers to the state. And out of 51 new troopers, we get 6. So we're excited. They started the first week of January. So they're in training as we speak with their assigned field training officers. So we're excited for that. And then also we have seizure results. So we have 4 quarters in a year. And during the 4th quarter of December of 2020, state police are happy to announce that we had more than $5 million worth of illegal drugs that were seized, such as cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin. And also we have 805 pounds that were actually, I shouldn't say seized, that were collected from our prescription boxes. So for those of you that don't know, every state police station in the state is equipped with a drug take back box available 24 hours a day. You could come and drop off any prescription medications, over-the-counter medications that you have laying around the house that you no longer need. Do not flush them down the toilet. Please drop them off to us, and we hook up with the Drug Enforcement Administration to properly dispose of that. And lastly, I know I'm talking a lot this evening. Lastly, our Amber Alert notifications. Guys, please make sure that our phone settings are equipped to enable Amber alerts, just because we use it more often than you think. And if it was your child, you want to make sure that there is ample notification throughout the state to be able to make sure that we're doing all means possible by finding that child. It was originally initiated from 13-year-old Amber Hangerman, who was abducted in Texas back on January 13th, 1996. And her body was found 4 days later in a creek less than 5 miles from where she was missing. So as a result of that, PSP then administered their Amber Alert program in 2002. And our department since then has issued 100 Amber Alerts since the program's existence. And we led to the safe recovery of 115 children. And then just last year, we issued 5 Amber Alerts on behalf of various police departments around our area, which led to the safe recovery of 7 children. So please, hopefully you could do your part in making sure that you receive those and participate. And with that being said, I have nothing further to add if anybody has any questions.
Yes, I do have the drug take back program with regard to COVID. If someone would drive up to the state police headquarters, do they have to go inside the building to dispose of the drugs, or is there a drop off outside? How does that work?
That's a good question. So we actually, all of our drug take back boxes are in our lobby. So you'd have to go into our lobby to be able to drop off the drugs. Just because, just like anything, if you put something outside, it's more appealing, and thefts may occur and somebody actually take our box. So, you know, we have to make sure that it's under surveillance and secured to the actual floor of our lobby. But again, you know, you could come anytime, just make sure that you have your face covering, you could drop off, no questions asked.
Okay, with regard to the domestic security checks, we have a very healthy senior population in Concord. For those who we call snowbirds that would go to Florida for the winter, is it possible for the state police to go by their homes to check the security of their homes? Is that part of the deal?
Yes, that is a part of our domestic security check program. So what you could do if you know you're going to leave vacation, you're leaving to take care of somebody out of state, etc., you give us a call and give us the span of dates in which you're going to be leaving, and then we will therefore conduct what's called a reoccurring domestic security check of your residence or place of business on what you would deem fit. So whether it's morning, whether it's evening, and especially depending on what incidents we have going on, we will ensure that we can get somebody there at least, you know, one time a day, and then leave us a good contact number for you in the event that we need to reach you in case of an emergency.
Thank you. Any other members have questions? Trooper.
Yes, Trooper Tobin, with regard to, you said residents who are interested in that signing up for that security check program, what number should they call? Should they call 911 or a different number?
So you could contact our state police barracks directly, and the number you could call is 484-840-1000. That number goes directly to us. Unfortunately, we don't have what's considered a non-emergency line. That is it. So that is our non-emergency and our emergency line. If for whatever reason, you know, we're busy at the time that you call and the PCO, the public communication officer, i.e. dispatcher, can't take it at that moment, always call me and I will make sure that it gets entered into the computer system to make sure we get checked on that. And my direct number is 610-558-7074.
Thank you so much, Trooper Tobin. I also wanted to, just from a personnel perspective, in terms of updates and so forth, you see here, Vanita Deshmukh has joined us. She's the newest member of council. And I just wanted to introduce her to you, Trooper Tobin, and look forward to seeing both of you on the calls.
Hello, Vanita.
Thanks,
It's nice
John.
to meet you.
Yes, same here, and look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
Any other board members have questions for the trooper?
I do, John. Trooper Tobin, the 6 new troopers that are going to be assigned to our area, are they additional officers or are they replacing officers?
No, Colleen, so those 6 members that we received in the beginning of January are 6 additional officers.
Good.
So they just graduated on January 8th. So I believe like the second week of January is when they came. So they are currently assigned here now in training with their current FTO. And then once they get off that, then they will be an additional 6 troopers to add to our complement that we already have. Because right now, when troopers go through that FTO period, you have to ride with a seasoned trooper during a 60-day rotation process. After that 60 days, then they are put out as like a solo person, so to speak, by themselves.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Trooper Tobin. Very nice report. We look forward to seeing you in the future.
Absolutely.
Moving right along to the sewer department. Dana, do you have a report on the sewer department?
Yes, I do. Thank you. And this report was generated from Terry Grant, the assistant manager. Following in my report on the CTSD operations during the month of January 2021, both the main plant and Riviera plant continued to meet discharge requirements with the parameters of the NPDES permits. The operations staff performed 3 lateral inspections as required for resale certification during the month of January. The Smithbridge Estates and the Beaver Valley Matson Road sewer projects have been bid with recommendation of award on the agenda for later this evening. The Penn's Grant 1 and 2 sewer projects is underway, approximately 20% complete, and is still on schedule for completion by mid-May.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the code enforcement officer, zoning officer report. I don't believe we have a presence here, so that will be included in the minutes for the meeting. Next, we have the planning commission. Don't believe we have a report from the planning commission. Next, we have solicitor.
If I may,
Sure, we have a report.
please. As council will recall, Judge Whalen, in reference to the Concord Ventures matter, entered an order the 20th day of October, wherein he indicated that the matter was remanded back to Concord Township Council for the limited purpose of scheduling a hearing for the introduction of additional evidence as set forth in the appellant's above referenced motion. As I had previously indicated, Attorney Kaplan, on behalf of Concord Ventures, is attempting to supplement the record with approximately 30 additional pieces of evidence or items of evidence, which primarily concern themselves with emails and text, that type of thing, between various representatives of the parties. This is not a matter where council is going to be making any decisions. It's purely an evidentiary proceeding. So I'm asking council this evening to entertain and pass a motion, and that motion would be to appoint retired Judge Proud to schedule a hearing for the introduction of additional evidence as ordered by Judge Whalen, the date being for February 25th at 5 p.m. So if we could get a motion in that regard, and that would take care of that piece of business.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 This will be a public meeting, and prior to the meeting, Amanda will set up the Zoom information for those persons who would like to, they can't necessarily they won't be able to participate in the meeting, but they can certainly sit in and watch the proceedings, as well as members of council. If you have no other questions, that's all I have at this point in time.
Mr.
Okay.
Donahue, there were a number of members of the public who were party to the proceedings during the hearings. Are they automatically party to this hearing and matter, or do they need to represent themselves?
They would that's a good point, John. They would automatically be participants if they so choose to participate. Mr. Jonas, Mark Jonas, who represents a number of the objectors, is well aware of this, and he will be participating with me because we are objecting to Mr. Kaplan's proposal. But I will also reach out, because I think there may be 2 or 3 others who did not actively participate, but did enter their appearance as parties, and we'll make them aware of this.
Very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so nothing else, Mr. Solicitor?
That's all for my comments.
Okay, next item, Township Engineer. Nate, could you give us your report?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Just briefly wanted to touch on our discussions last week on Schoolhouse Lane and Baltimore Pike. First of all, I appreciate all the feedback from the residents as well as you guys. I think we generated some real nice discussion. We've got some homework to do. Don't have any real concrete updates today other than let you know we have talked to PennDOT, and internally we're talking about these various options. I'm hopeful by next month we'll be able to present some of these options to you and have a little bit of a game plan pulled together for some of the larger type items. One short-term small item, based on some of the comments from the residents, was I suggested that we could install stop bars and red reflective devices on the stop signs on all the Schoolhouse Lane approaches. That'll help reinforce the stop signs for vehicles traveling on Schoolhouse Lane. Somewhat of a low-cost initiative. We don't need PennDOT's approval, but I just wanted to be, something we could be proactive and responsive to the resident complaints about speeding and cut through traffic along Schoolhouse Lane. So unless there's any objections from council, I will work with Public Works to get those installed. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but the short version is more to come on Schoolhouse Lane.
Yeah, Nate, this is a very, very sensitive subject. We did have a special meeting last month, and we need to keep this going month after month. And what I'd like to get is a motion from council to keep you moving on this and get the contact with PennDOT, and let's get some very firm ideas of how we can make something happen at this intersection. And from my viewpoint, I would like to see a traffic signal. And I know a lot of the markings and lane markings and turn lanes, things like that would all be included if it were part of a traffic signal. But I'd like to get a motion from council to move this forward and to continue the dialogue from month to month. So if I can get a motion to that effect, I would appreciate it.
Move.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Any questions on the motion?
No questions, but I will just add a comment to underline what both John and Nate said. I do think that stop bars at these intersections, not just at Schoolhouse Lane, but across the township, really help to reinforce just visibly where our intersections are, and any visual cues like that, not just on Schoolhouse Lane, but really around the township. I think where we've added them, they have helped, because where we have what some may consider minor roads, to the folks that travel them, they are their major roads. And so I appreciate that effort, Nate. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John. And also, this goes a little bit further than that intersection. I know when we go down further on Baltimore Pike to Cheney Road, I use that intersection almost on a daily basis. And when I make the left-hand turn onto Cheney Road, I sit there waiting for that arrow. Traffic goes by me, I would say at least 80 miles an hour. Speeding is terrible on Baltimore Pike. And the traffic signal would tend to slow traffic down before it comes down that hill. So I think this all ties into the intersection. So it's all part of a scheme, which I think we need to address with PennDOT. So, well, we have a motion and a second. So all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, we go to Township Manager. Amanda, you have a report?
Yes, thanks. So I'll just piggyback off of you on our snow removal efforts. It was a beast of a storm there, a little bit different than the last one, thank goodness. Between the last one, I think we had an ice snow parfait, they called that. This was just some heavy snow that we needed to move and salt. So I want to thank our Public Works Director for, coordinating those efforts. As you guys know, in the public, we have a small, I say small but mighty Public Works Department. And, with council's leadership right now, we're actually rebuilding those folks, and we'll be doing some hirings in that group. And everyone I thought did a really great job. And I just want to make sure I thank them for their efforts. A lot of hours and time went in on their behalf. Additionally, we posted on social media information and as today was sort of a lot of cleanup, tomorrow will be the same. I've driven around. I see everything looked pretty great to me as well. And if anybody has any problems or concerns or issues, we've given the township phone number, 610-459-8911. And we also give our office at Concord Township.org email address to also put information. And further that online, we also have a portion that is report a concern that also goes to the office email, and we catalog those concerns. So please let us know. I know sometimes everybody puts it out on social media, but we're not monitoring that regularly. So I'd really like to make sure people reach us directly if you have any issues. It's extremely helpful. Additionally, John, you talked about the snow creation contest. That's through March 31st. So we welcome all entries from our residents. It's a fun, cute contest that Parks and Rec Board does a great job with. Additionally, I just want to point out Lisa, who handles our communications, had been requesting inspiration from our residents. So as I've warned everyone, we are going to have a lot more engagement opportunities. We'll talk later about that through the agenda, but we have started a Feel Good Friday. So we're looking for inspiration from residents. So we've given the office email online. And if anybody has any great news that they want to share, especially during COVID, I think we all want to soak that up. So we're happy to share information as people send it over to us. So I'm hoping we have something for this Friday to post for our first Feel Good Friday. So I just encourage everyone to take part in inspirational things other than us dealing with the doldrums of our lives right now. So other than that, that's all I have. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to give you a shout out also, Amanda, for your leadership with this snow removal, in reaching out to the different board members, ask us if there was any concerns, any resident complaints. I know I did get back to you, and the areas that I cover, everything's fine. I didn't have any complaints, but it's just great to the board members to find stuff. Okay, now we get into public comment. So we do have some comments. Okay. Amanda, if you would like to review the 3 comments that we have, be my guest.
Sure. So we have 3 public comments tonight. One public comment was from a Mr. Jim Carr at 39 Park Lane. He actually submitted late for our agenda meeting on the topic of Schoolhouse Lane and had requested that we submit it for this meeting so that his concerns were heard. And he's a resident 39 Park Lane. He says normally they make the turn off Route 1 onto Schoolhouse several times a day. He said the shoulder has become the turn lane for many vehicles making this turn. And he says this really is not enough room to be fully in this lane if you are in a larger vehicle. If you dare to turn from the right-hand traffic lane, most times the cars behind you are not happy, slowing down, and they ride your bumper. And that there have been multiple instances where tractor trailers have been behind him and they could not make a safe turn. So he says, as a parent of a newly licensed teen and another soon to be licensed, he has great concerns magnified at that intersection. The next public comment we received was from Mr. Cleary at 72 Schoolhouse Lane. Mr. Cleary notes his first comment question was questioning about the reviving of the Concord Township Public Safety Advisory Committee. He had brought this up at a previous meeting and he was asking if there was any consideration of reviving that committee. His second comment and next couple actually have to do with Schoolhouse Lane. He's noted that he noticed 16 vehicles pass his driveway on Schoolhouse Lane just after 7 a.m. during what I'll note is more sounds like a peak time. He says that there's about 100 vehicles an hour, that estimate of 30 an hour from the engineer he's noting may not be correct. And he asked if it would make sense for the engineer to collect data when safety critical events like school bus pickups and drop-offs are occurring rather than during low traffic hours. He also notes 2 commuter vehicles during the time he checked were more construction trucks with long trailers. His third question was, is there any consideration that could be given to placing a speed bump on Schoolhouse Lane halfway between the 4-way stops? He also asked what the process is for getting a speed bump in place on the township roadway. His fourth question is whether or not there can be a right turn lane for neighborhood traffic exiting Route 1 onto Schoolhouse Lane. What would the process be for considering such a change? And finally, ask if council can consider having a volunteer read off public comment because we don't want to pay the township solicitor to edit or review public comments. And that was his comment there. He's saying the cost savings could go to a traffic signal. The third and final comment came from Mr. Eugene Goebel at 7 Quaker Lane. And he had some questions regarding tonight's agenda. And he asked about resolutions under the new business section and asked if it was possible for proposed resolutions to be posted online as ordinances are. And he asked where the location of those are, if they are already posted and he's missing it. And he also asked why the public comment window is before new business, as he felt that it shouldn't be there. It precludes public comment. His second question is regarding the zoning hearing board meeting. On the draft agenda, there was a date of February 17th, but he was advised it's the 18th. I'll note very quickly that he was correct. I actually thanked Mr. Goebel for that. Our normal meetings are Wednesdays and for zoning hearing board, but this month it's actually on a Thursday due to the attorney's schedule. So it is Thursday, the 18th. He was correct. And that's all I have for public comment.
Okay. In the past, we done regarding public comment as far as getting back to the people that proposed these comments. Have we gotten back to them in writing?
I'm sorry, John, you broke up a little bit in the beginning there.
I said, what has our policy been over the last few months regarding public comment as far as getting back to the people that have made the comments? Have we gotten back to them in writing?
Well, it depends on what the comments are. I mean, if council has directed me to do so, yes. If it's a comment like the zoning hearing board question we had on the date, very easy to get back. Sometimes you guys actually comment right back during this time. So I've only given written comment to those that you've directed us to, myself and even Hugh, there's been direction on to provide public comment back. So it's not a regular process unless I'm directed.
Okay, more to follow. Okay. Next item is old business.
Before we move off that, John, Nate, can you address some of the things on Schoolhouse Lane? You know, I mean, that's an interesting question around process for speed bump and things like that. Is that something we can just speak to now?
Yeah, those are pretty easy, pretty answers. Looking at Mr. Cleary's comments, first, his comments regarding the amount of vehicles. He misunderstood my comment. The number I quoted was approximately 30 vehicles making a left-hand turn out of Schoolhouse on the Baltimore Pike. That was not an indication of the total traffic on Schoolhouse. So he's comparing apples to oranges there, unfortunately. The 100 vehicles an hour, that's probably in the ballpark without knowing for a fact. That's not unheard of for that type of street. Second, he suggested that we do the counts at critical events like school bus pickouts. That's what we always do. We do the counts from 7 to 9 in the morning, 4 to 6 in the afternoon. So when we did those counts, that's when we did them. His next comment was regarding speed humps on Schoolhouse Lane. We do have a policy in place here at Concord Township. Mr. Cleary could review chapter 185 of the Township Code. The Township Code is online, available through the Township website, and that speaks to a resident's ability to request a speed hump on a Township road and the process for that. And any resident that approaches the Township with that, you know, we look at each one independently, and we'd be happy to look at that. If those minimum requirements will be able to be met at this location. And his last comment was adding a right turn lane onto Schoolhouse from Baltimore Pike. That was one of the items that was discussed at our meeting last week. And that is one of the things in our action list here of things to take a closer look at as we proceed here as a priority, as you guys mentioned earlier tonight, and that's one.
Thanks, Nate.
Yep.
I'd like to speak just briefly to Mr. Goebel's comments and questions regarding the placement of public comment on the agenda, as well as posting of information online. First of all, I appreciate his comments, and prior to being on council myself, I felt the same way. It's difficult to comment on something which you don't know is what the details are coming up. That said, if we were to move public comment until after the new business, we would have acted on that business, which would, you know, really keep the public comment from informing our work and our decisions. So I think that the placement of the public comment is correct before new business, and certainly as we you know, now not in a Zoom format, but when we're in person, you know, we definitely have entertained public comment during items of new business, as if residents have questions and things like that. With regard to posting information online, this is something that Amanda and I have talked about, and others on council, and along with our solicitor. A lot of things that are new business are ever changing and in flux, so we don't always have definitive information that we can post online, or it's changing, and so the draft that may be online may not be the most up to date or accurate. And so versus things that are old business, it is what it is, and we can post that. So that's some of the limitations around our ability to do that. But that's not, you know, we can certainly look to see, you know, if there is a way for us to post some information in advance in some sort of a draft form to keep people informed in advance of the meeting. So just wanted to speak to those things from Mr. Goebel and thank him.
All right, thank you, John, for your comments on the comments. All right, well, moving right along, we'll go to new business. Number 1, resolution number 15 of 2021. This is a sewer on Walters. This resolution was prepared by our solicitors, the township and the sewer solicitor, for Penn's Grant 2 sewer project. The homeowner at 22 Walters Lane is granting the township an easement to allow us to extend the existing utility easement to 3 additional connections to the public. rather than read.
We're having some audio issues. The audio seems to be bouncing back between John and Vanita.
Either that, John, or some of your paperwork, I think, is covering up the microphone. That may be it.
Okay. We'll try it again.
That's better, thanks.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. The resolution 15 of 2021, the sewer easement on Walters Lane, which was prepared by our two solicitors for the Penn's Grant 2 sewer project. The homeowner at 22 Walters Lane is granting the township an easement to allow to extend our main and an existing utility easement to provide 3 additional connections. So rather than read the lengthy resolution, basically that's what it says. So I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 15 of 2021. So can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
Get a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item, resolution number 16 of 2021, the COVID-19 FEMA funding. What this is a resolution designating Henry Deal, our finance director and treasurer, to execute on behalf of the town any required forms and documents for obtaining assistance under PEMA and FEMA, PEMA being Pennsylvania and FEMA being the federal government. What we're asking for approximately $40,000 in reimbursement. This will be an ongoing request as long as we are in the pandemic situation. So this asks for approval of resolution number 16 of 2021.
So moved.
I have a second?
Second.
I have a quick question on it. Since we are still battling with COVID-19 and the new mutated strains of this virus, are the projected expenditures also included, or will we be eligible to submit new incurred expenses in the coming months?
I understand that that's a provision of this this resolution, that we will be able to go forward with any future expenditures.
Yeah,
So
that's correct.
Yeah. So it's designating Dominic Pileggi as the president, myself and John Crossan as council vice presidents to sign this resolution. So we have
Just another
motion.
question is, what are these funds being allocated for, or have they already been spent and this is a reimbursement?
I believe they spent. Is that right, Amanda?
That's correct. So this started back in March. Part of our emergency declaration that you've heard us say over and over, and why it continues, is so that we're eligible for this funding. So it's for expenses already incurred, and it can be expenses to come. So Vanita, your question's great. So anything that happens in the future, as long as they're still offering these dollars to us, we're still available to get it. Staff is actually tracking anything related to COVID. Since back in March, we've been doing that, and it's sort of like a running tally. And I believe that the expenditures we are asking for are items that have been literally pretty much expensed to date. And it's approximately around $40,000.
And Amanda, is that, I'm sorry, Colleen.
Is it typically PPE equipment or?
PPE, cleanings, it can be for equipment, anything that you had to do that really changed your operations, some of our technology needs that we've had to update. So we were allowed to ask for a large host of things. And now again, you know, they might only say you're going to get X, and they change the parameters as we go along sometimes. And this next round of funding could wind up being changed again. But for now, we're submitting approximately around $40,000 in expenses.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Amanda, this is requesting reimbursement from the Pennsylvania and the federal funds, I suppose. So, but correct me if I'm wrong, we had hoped to apply to the county for some of the funds that the county received from the CARES Act. Is that correct?
That is correct. Municipalities in Delaware County actually did asked the county council for CARES Act funding, which was supposed to be trickled down locally for some local efforts. At this time, they had committed some of those funds elsewhere. We are being notified that potentially this year there could be some COVID reimbursements as we get into the vaccination process that the county will reimburse local municipalities. But from our end of the spectrum on that, we're better eligible from the FEMA side. But the hope was the CARES Act funding, because that comes a lot quicker. And that was the intention of some of those monies being moved forward. But
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right. Valley Point Church, Resolution 17 of 2021. What happened here is in 2019, council approved the Valley Point Church final minor subdivision plans to consolidate two properties into one parcel. The applicant never finalized their plans for recording in a timely manner per the MPC guidelines. As such, they must have their resolution reaffirmed to have it recorded at the county. So we have Resolution 17 of 2021. And I'll just read the last paragraph. Now therefore, the Council of Concord hereby reapproves the final minor plan prepared by Catania Engineering Associates dated October 25th, 2018, last revised January 4th, 2019, provided each and every one of the outstanding issues listed in paragraphs 1 and including 5 of Resolution 15 to 2019 are resolved to the satisfaction of council. Approved and resolved this day of February 2021, Township of Concord. So if I can get a motion for Resolution 17, 2021, please.
So moved.
And get a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And I believe we have the same issue for the next one.
A little bit different, John.
Yeah, a little bit
But it's,
different. Yes, what we have is 136, 150 Matson Road. We have a new owner. So in this particular case, Township Council approved the final plan for 136, 150 Matson Road for Fred Tordone, allowing a lot line adjustment and a subdivision on a lot resulting in a 3-lot development. The original applicant, Mr. Tordone, is not well and has transferred his interest to Mr. Edward Walsh, doing business as Westfield Construction. As such, we must update the previous resolution to include all of the applicant's information. So what I'd like to do there would be to read the final 2 paragraphs of this resolution. Whereas the applicant, Fred Tordone, due to unforeseen circumstances, wishes to transfer all of his interest in the final minor subdivision and land development of 136, 150 Matson Road to Mr. Edward Walsh, doing business as Westfield Construction, and Mr. Edward Walsh, substitute applicant, hereby agrees to be bound by each and every condition and requirements set forth in Resolution 61, 2020, as though he were the original applicant. Now, therefore, the Council of Concord Township hereby accepts the substitution of Mr. Edward Walsh for Mr. Fred Tordone with regard to the minor subdivision and land development of 136, 150 Matson Road. Approved and resolved the 2nd day of February 2021. So that would be in the form, if we can get a motion to make that approval.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions or any embellishment, Mr. Solicitor? We okay?
That's fine, thank you.
Okay, so all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay. Next is Resolution 19 of 2021, Astoria. And again, we're similar to Valley Point Church.
Exactly.
Astor did not finalize their plans for recordation in a timely manner, so the township needs to reaffirm their March 2020 resolution. Township Council approved their final land development plan to consolidate and redevelop 2 properties located at 198 West W Westchester Pike to construct a 19,048 square foot surgical health center with 8 accessory suites for temporary lodging for patients. So again, I'd like to read the last paragraph of Resolution 19/2021. Now therefore, the Council of Concord Township hereby reapproves the preliminary/final subdivision and land development plan prepared by Edward B. Walsh and Associates, dated April 2019, last revised January 7th, 2021, provided each and every one of the outstanding conditions listed in Resolution number 29 of 2020 and Resolution number 30 of 2020 are resolved to the satisfaction of council. Again, approved and resolved this day of February 2021. Again, that's in the form of a resolution. If I could get a motion to approve that.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
No questions. I'll just comment that the demolition has occurred on that site there, and we worked with the applicant on the design of this building, and I think it's going to be a building that we can all be very proud of as we drive up and down 202 and enter into Pennsylvania. It's going to have a beautiful stone finish, be reminiscent of a barn, and so forth, while also having some modern finishes. So looking forward to this new healthcare facility going into our township.
Yes, that will greatly beautify the area of 202 as you're coming in from Delaware. That's a good point, John. All right, next item, connect the dots professional.
We need to vote on that, John.
We can vote, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we didn't vote? Sorry.
No.
We got a first, we got a second, and you got to call the vote.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, next item is connect the dots proposal. And again, township had budgeted this expense to conduct a public engagement process this year based on estimates and scope provided by Connect the Dots in 2020. The proposal entails multiple public engagement approaches that begin with a kickoff event and close with a September event, developing a strategic plan for the township to carry out based on our stakeholder feedback. Professional proposal includes these services with a not to exceed cost of $24,110. So, like I said, this has been around for a little bit, and we're ready to take some action on it. Could I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any comment?
Yeah, Amanda, could you speak a little bit to just give a little more color in terms of what this public engagement process is about?
Sure, this one's exciting. Connect the Dots is a local all-female owned company, and they're a professional company who assists folks with their public engagement efforts. Per council's direction previously, if everyone remembers, I noted this in my State of the Township address, and council has brought this up on multiple occasions. And the whole point here is to bring the community in and look for alternate ways and different ways to engage, to get feedback from residents as part of that open, collaborative, and transparent engagement process that council has been looking for. And they start, as John said, with an April kickoff. It'll include a lot of different, we're in COVID still, so it'll include some different ways and some common ways of doing things between focus groups or surveys or different engagements from our youngest residents to our oldest residents. And I think it'll be a great process at the end where council will have the opportunity to really hear from all of our different groups and people's feedback. It'll be an extremely transparent process. We'll have all the information published. Additionally, at the end of the process, council's going to get sort of a great ending report from them with strategic action items that we can incorporate potentially with the timing into our budget and long range and vision plans moving forward. So I think this is a really great idea that council has had to push forward and keep us progressing with getting that feedback from the community.
Thanks, Amanda. So just to sort of put a finer point on that as well, the public engagement is for the purpose of sort of a listening session for council to listen to the community. We're a large community of almost 20,000 residents. And while some folks attend these Zoom meetings or submit public comment, or we interact on Facebook, we want to make sure that we're really hearing from all of our residents in terms of what their priorities are for the township. And in this age of COVID, and also the isolation that comes with that, but also the sort of echo chamber that can be social media, this is a chance to have a broader, inclusive conversation about the priorities of our community and how we as council can best achieve those.
Exactly.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion approved. Next item, number 7, Planning Commission appointment. What we have there is we had a resignation from our chairman, Rich Jolison, and we have 2 vacancies to fill. We'd like to act on one of those tonight. So I would entertain a motion for an appointment. Looks like we've interviewed some people, and Larry Muchler II of 105 Beaver Valley Road seems to be the person of choice right now. If we can get a motion, he would serve an unexpired term that would end in June of 2023. So if we can get a motion for that approval, that would be nice.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions on the motion or the appointment?
I know Larry. We are nearby neighbors here in Beaver Valley, and Larry is a business owner of Concord Pet Food and Supplies, well-known, very highly respected company, not just in our area, but across the region. And as a result of his business dealings, and as he is, they've expanded their stores, he's worked with many municipalities to build and develop Concord Pet Foods stores. And I think that he has a lot of insight to bring to the Planning Commission and process from his professional background. And so look forward to Larry serving on the Planning Commission.
Very good. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Next, we have another vacancy at the Historical Commission. We had some resignations, and we have a proposed appointment tonight. We have the remaining members on the Planning Historical Commission are Penny Scott and Mark Gennaro. John Crossan, would you like to make a motion for an appointment?
Yes, thanks, Mr. President, Vice President. So I'd like to motion that we appoint Leslie Berkeyheiser to one of the vacant roles on the Historical Commission. Amanda, what is the expiration of this term?
That would be October of 2022.
Okay, right. So that's correct. There are still 2 more vacancies. We do have additional applicants that we will continue to go through an interview process and appoint them. But with the appointment of Ms. Berkeyheiser tonight, that does bring the Historical Commission back to its quorum and allows them to continue to function. And but Leslie Berkeyheiser is a lifelong resident of Concord Township. Her family quite has been here historically in the Clayton Park area, and Leslie serves as the vice president of the Concord Township Historical Society. So she's quite active in the historical fabric, both from her family perspective as well as with the Historical Society, and and I've worked with her on open space and trail initiatives. She's a very caring, thoughtful person who I know will contribute a lot to the Historical Commission. So look forward to her service.
Right, more to follow on the Historical Commission at a future meeting. So we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, number 9, reappointment of Brenda Orso to the Library Board. So they're making these appointments. Brenda's term on the Library Board expired in December. The library has asked that council reappoint her for another term. The term is for 3 years, and the new term would expire in December of 2023. So could I get a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
No, John, I'll just point out though that Brenda was a gingerbread contest winner, and she's quite the architect there. So the library, I'm sure, is happy to have her.
Multifaceted person, right? Very good. Okay. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have another reappointment of Lauren Green. Township resident Lauren Green, term on the Park and Rec Board expired in September. The board has asked that council reappoint her for another term. The term is for 5 years. The new term would expire in September of 2025. So could I get a motion for that appointment, please?
So moved.
I get a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. The next one is to advertise for lawn maintenance bids. And what happens here, we have a contract, a 1-year contract that's expired, and we are preparing new bid specs with our Public Works Director. So we have over 200 acres, and we use the contract to supplement the landscaping efforts being done by the Public Works crew. Previous contract was with KMC, and we need to award a new contract for spring. So again, this need a motion to advertise for bids.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. And number 12 and 13, I'm going to turn that over to Dana Rankin. She's on the sewer committee with myself and Dominic Pileggi. So I'll let Dana handle number 12 and 13.
Okay, thank you. So we had our engineer make a recommendation. We did put a bid out for Smithbridge Estates sewer extension project. We received 4 bids, and the recommendation of our engineer was for Dolly Construction Corporation. That came in the lowest bid at $460,117. So I'd like to make that in a motion to go with the recommendation of the engineer for the Smithbridge Estate Sewer Extension Project to Dolly Construction Corporation.
Thank you. Can I get a second for that?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay.
And
Dana?
the second one is for the Beaver Valley and Matson Road Sewer Extension Project. We received 8 bids. And with Beaver Valley, the lowest bid came in with McKinney Construction. There was 2 bids for the Matson project, a shallow and a deep. And with the recommendation of Bradford Engineering, they suggested the shallow project. So I would like to make a motion to approve McKinney Construction for Beaver Valley at $379,586, and for Matson, the Shallow Project for $148,257. And that's in a motion.
Okay. Okay. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
We have a second. Okay, any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. All right. Dana, number 13.
Yes, this is for the payment for the Penn's Grant 1 and 2 Sewer Extension Project for $161,252.10 made out to Dolly Construction. And I'd like to make that as a form of motion.
Okay. Can I get a second on that, please?
Second.
Okay, any questions on the motion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. And financial security, we don't have any. Number 15, accept as complete the following applications. First one being 1126 Smith Bridge. And this is a demolition application only. And you might ask, where is 1126 Smith Bridge Road? It's in the island between 202 north and southbound. I call that the island, the amount of land between the north and southbound lanes across from Brewster's. And let's see. Yeah, the applicant is requesting to demolish this home at 1126 Smith Bridge Road, which is identified in the historic resource inventory as a Class 1 historic resource. It's a small house across from Brewster's. It faces Smith Bridge. So that's that. And then the next one is 400 Smith Bridge. We'll do these together. In October 2019, council approved the final minor subdivision plan for 400 Smith Bridge to include subdividing the property into 2 lots. The applicant decided to submit a new plan because of neighbor issues regarding stormwater management. The increase in the limit of disturbance in the new application will now trigger a review by the Delaware County Conservation District, which had not been required with the previous application. So this is across from Para Electric on Smith Bridge Road. So I don't think we need a motion to accept these, or we just matter of normal business. What, Amanda, do we need a motion for that?
Yes, normally you create a motion to accept these. All you're doing is accepting the applications to go through the review process.
Right, right. So we don't need a motion.
You do
We
need
do.
a motion.
Oh, okay. So if I could get a motion from someone, please.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Okay, any questions on the motion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. All right, other council matters. Any council persons have any matters to bring before the public at this time?
I'd like to speak to two longtime residents of Concord Township who passed away recently, and just honor them in memoriam. The first is Dr. Chris Panarella Sr., longtime resident of Concord Township, and he and his family highly respected, and he's a dentist, and I want to send condolences to his wife Elaine and their sons. And the second one is for Julius Flynn Jr. And he was a resident in Fox Valley, and he spent 42 years at Cheney University as a celebrated football coach, chairman of the Department of Health, Physical Education and Recreation, interim vice president for student affairs, and was a mentor for many students. He was inducted into the Cheney Hall of Fame in 2005, and you know, we have many residents of Concord Township and our almost 20,000 residents who make such an impact and a difference in our community and beyond. And while we are not able to recognize all of them, I do want to call attention to these two residents, longtime residents who passed away, and wish their families all the best and our condolences.
Thank you, John. Anyone else have any matters for the public? Okay, hearing none. Upcoming township meetings and events, which by the way are held virtual due to COVID issues. February 4th, we have Park and Recreation Board meeting. February 15th, the township offices are closed for the holiday, which is President's Day. February 16th, the Planning Commission, which is held on a Tuesday due to the holiday. And February 17th, the Zoning Hearing Board meeting. And February 23rd, the council agenda meeting, if necessary.
John, February 18th is the zoning hearing board meeting.
Ah, okay, I didn't pick that up, okay.
And John, we can also add February 25th as the Concord Ventures evidentiary hearing to be held at 5 p.m.
Thank you. That came up to, okay, so hearing none.
Hugh,
nothing
will you
else?
supply me the link to that? Will I get it from you or Judge Brown?
One of us will make it up, Amanda.
Okay.
Okay, so we're down to the last item, adjournment. Could I get a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I'm sure there's no question. So all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.